This is the public key encryption lab in Unit 5. You will need to have the Cyber Basics environment launched, and I've already done that. And so I'm going to open up a terminal window and start working on this lab. So this is asymmetric encryption. So in this lab, you will create a public and a private key. You'll be using a program called GPG, GNU Privacy Guard. It's an open source implementation of PGP, which stands for Pretty Good Privacy. So once you're in the lab following along with the instructions, first thing you need to do is generate the key. And once you type in that command, it's going to ask you for a name, and it's also going to ask for an email address. And if you want to accept that, click OK. Now, the passphrase is optional. I'm just going to show you that if you enter in a weak passphrase, it will tell you that, and you have the option to either keep what you have or enter in a new passphrase. You'll need to remember that passphrase for later. So if you need to write it down, make sure you take a moment to enter that. So the next step would be to encrypt a file. And you have two options in this lab. There is a file that you can download from the cyber range, or you can open up the LeafPad editor and create your own text file and encrypt and decrypt that one. So I'm just going to use the get command and use the file that's in the cyber range. And this is the path to it, and the file is text file 2.txt. All right, so that's going to be the file that I'm going to encrypt. So I'm going to encrypt it using the public key that I just generated. And so I'm going to enter in my email address and then the name of the file that I want to encrypt. All right, so there's a new file that's now been created that is encrypted. And so let's just take a look at that file. So let's say cat text file 2.txt, and at the end of that file, it has put GPG. So that's what the file looks like. So I'd say it's safe to assume that that is now an encrypted file. So the next step is to decrypt the file using the private key. And as you know, in public key encryption, the public key is the key that we would share with people that we want to securely communicate with. And the private key is the key that we will always keep private to ourselves. So the next thing we're going to do is remove that original file. That's a command to remove that file. So that's now gone, deleted. So now I'm going to decrypt the file. And I need to specify a file name that it is going to decrypt to. And then I'm going to specify the file that has been encrypted. So the first part of that is the file that I'm going to decrypt it to, and then this is the encrypted file. If you used a passcode, you will have to now enter that in. So now we want to see if that file has actually been decrypted. So let's cat text file to decrypt txt to see if there's some text there. And there is. So we have successfully completed the first part of the exercise. The second part of the exercise is following those instructions again, but this time students will exchange public keys, encrypt a file, and then exchange those files and then use their private key to decrypt files. So the second part of the lab, you can go on ahead and do. Just know that students need a way to transfer files to complete the lab. So you'll either need to use, they'll either need to access their email accounts through a web browser, or you need some sort of directory, shared directory that those exchanges can take place on. All right, good luck.